Welcome to a celebratory edition of Browns All Access. Nathan Zegura alongside Bernie Kosar. And Bernie, how fun was that? In Cincinnati, the team's up 35-7, eventually go on to win 35-20 and exercise a lot of demons in one game.
Absolutely, getting the monkey off our back, getting the road win, the Battle of Ohio, coming off a bye week, a lot of positive things to talk about.
Absolutely. First road win, as we know, since 2015. First time the Browns have won back-to-back games since 2014, and it all starts with the guy, as you know, the trigger man, Baker Mayfield. Bernie, what are you seeing that is making Baker so good?
I don't want to get ahead of myself here, and I'm not trying to over-glorify him, but I played with Dan Marino, and Dan's ability in the pocket to move one or two steps, almost like watching Baker, his ability to move just a couple of steps and make plays while keeping the eyes downfield, to throw touch passes or power passes, really impressive to watch.
Yeah, there was one play where a free rusher came in. Basically, it was Baker's responsibility to beat that free rusher. He got out of the pocket and then threw a strike on the run to Callaway on the sideline for that first down. And that, to me, said, man, that is a next level. That is Drew Brees. That's Aaron Rodgers. In fact, Baker's now thrown multiple scores in 5 straight games. The first time a rookie's ever done that in the storied history of this great franchise. But those tight ends, big week against Cincinnati. Why is that position so important to the quarterback?
Well, I think all pro teams and top-tier schools have to have that tight end position. We're well coached at that position. We have a lot of youth and depth there and athleticism. When you're able to get guys that could block just enough in today's 2018 NFL, but still have the hands of wide receivers and the speed and agility to put pressure and really negate man coverage, which we're starting to show with our tight ends.
Absolutely. Those tight ends scored 2 touchdowns on Sunday, and I went into the film room with our tight end coach, Greg Seaman, in this week's Papa John's Play Breakdown. Very happy to sit down with Browns tight end coach Greg Seaman. And coach, obviously a big game for the team, but a big game for your room on Sunday against the Bengals.
Yeah, we were very excited. The Bengals, the defense has struggled a bit, and we felt there were some things we could exploit with the tight ends vertically, and we were able to get the ball to David in the seams. And this play has a number of options for the quarterback. There are route combinations on either side to the outside, and then the screen to David. And generally, if you catch man-to-man coverage, the screen is not so good, and that's what we caught here. The safety, who's lined up over David, has him man-to-man. But when David sets to pass block, the safety adds on as a blitzer at that point, and thinking that David is no longer a receiving threat. The end, I think, recognizes what's going on. He tries to grab David's jersey right there and hold him, but David throws him up the field, and Bake put this ball on him quick. So as soon as David turned, the ball was right in his chest. So now he's going to race to the end zone, and here, you know, I pointed out to him earlier today, your left foot is on the line. You are 15 feet away from the goal line, and the safety is standing directly between you and the goal line. And despite the fact that you're a 7'2" high jumper, I don't think you can broad jump over that man and reach it to the end zone. But his University of Miami brethren, Duke, will come to the rescue here initially and get underneath and hold him up. And now here come the offensive linemen, and Treader and Chris, and finally Zeitler shoves David into the end zone. He gives the ball to Bitonio, and we'll see it from the end zone. It ends up being quite a celebration.
All right, and let's take a look now. One of your other tight end touchdowns. This is Mr. Fells on a little rollout from Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, this is a lesson in persistence right here. This is a pattern that involves 4 receivers out to the front side, and we work through the progression here, and Darren would you know, be probably 3rd or 4th in this progression. But the defense did a nice job. They match on all of the underneath routes pretty well, and his front side reads are exhausted, and so he begins working across the field. And the safety on the front side, of course, gets mesmerized by Jarvis Landry, gets his eyes on him. Darren's able to keep his depth, slip behind him. And Darren is, you know, as a professional basketball player, he has wonderful hand-eye coordination. He's got very, very sure hands. And so you felt very good when this ball went up that he would have no problem catching it and putting it away.
Now you see there from Greg Seaman, apparently David Njoku thinks he can fly, trying to attempt a 15-foot broad jump into the end zone there, but he got a little help from his friends getting in the end zone.
It's great teamwork getting in the end zone. I flash back to OTAs about 6 months ago, and Me and him were out there after practice, and his attention to detail and his competitiveness to get himself better. In OTAs, I still remember walking off the field with him and him kind of dragging me back on the field, asking if I could still throw the ball, asking me how do I run routes, how do I like to see releases being run, and to see him now kind of implement that into his game, it's really impressive to watch, almost like a young Jimmy Graham.
Exactly, another guy from the U, and somebody who really, you look at Njoku, still very young in the game of football, and still a lot of potential. We're seeing that progress. Caught all 5 of his targets for 63 yards and the touchdown here. Better things to come from David Njoku, better things to come from Browns All Access when we return. After the break, we have a real treat. The ever-talkative Damarious Randall was mic'd up in Cincinnati, and Nick Chubb talks about his touchdown catch against the Bengals.